and welcome. How have you guys been? It has been a hot minute. We have been run a rough course about the last month. I think that's when I got my last video out. Was about a month ago. So I just wanted to sit down with you guys and kind of just do a life update on what's been going on. I have truly missed you guys. I just needed a break. I just needed some time to just recover from what's been going on. So I'm just gonna kind of sit down with you and just talk about what's been going on and what's been happening. So I'll try to watch the time on this. So if ends up being a long video, grab a cup of tea or some coffee, glass of wine, and let's just hang out today. So, my last video was probably out about, I want to say about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And then after that video, so in a couple videos ago, I had talked to you guys about going and talking to a surgeon about my gallbladder. So I went in and I met with the surgeon, and I don't know, I didn't really have that good of my dogs, they drive me crazy. So I didn't really have that good of a vibe about her. She was like, okay, well, we did notice some kind of sludginess on your gallbladder on your ultrasound, but I don't really want to go and do the surgery in case that's not what the problem is. So, but if you feel like it's the gallbladder, then we can just go ahead and take it out. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, you're the surgeon, so I'm here for some answers, so don't tell me if I think that's what that is. That's what your job is. So then she wanted to go and get me in for this HIDA scan. And basically, from what I've been reading on it, it's kind of just like an ultrasound, but they ingest you with some radioactive dye. And it's like a 2-hour test. And so they ingest you with this radioactive dye, and then you can't eat or drink anything for 8 hours before the test. So they ingest you with this dye, and it will read or give a percentage on how well your gallbladder or whatever it is they're testing is functioning. So then she wanted me to go get that done, and then if it's good percentage or whatever, then she'd be like, okay, then we'll go ahead and take it out. So I get that all set up. So then the week I'm supposed to have my HIDA scan, my husband tests positive for COVID. So it was a rough road there for a while. And we actually had traced it back to where he had got it from. So there was this guy who came from out of town to help work, because his business that he works for, they have 3 different locations in the state. And so one of the people that he was working with came from out of town. And he worked with him on a Wednesday, and that guy tested positive over the weekend. And then my husband tested positive on that Monday. And that Monday was actually when I was supposed to go and get my my test done. So then I had to call and reschedule. So then we get the news that he's positive on Monday. Wednesday comes around of that same week, and I wake up with symptoms. So I'm like, okay, I don't really want to go get tested, or whatever. So I wait out Wednesday. Thursday comes around, and I am just feeling awful. I have never been so sick in my life. So then I go and make an appointment to go get tested. So we went to just our regular clinic that we go to, and they had you just had to make an appointment, and they had like the rapid testing, so we both knew results within 20 minutes. So that was nice, because there's some places here in town that I hear you have to wait like 4 or 5 days till no results. So to have instant results in like half an hour was awesome. Excuse me. So then I tested positive on Thursday. So we had to quarantine him from his 10 days of when he tested positive, but then we had to quarantine 10 more days from when I tested positive. So I think, I want to say it was like the middle of October. Trying to think, like October 10th or 11th or something like that is when he had originally tested positive. So we were both in quarantine at this point. I mean, it was a rough road. Like, we both had different symptoms. I ended up with a fever of 102. He barely got a fever. He got body aches, and I didn't. I just had chills. But I had a 2-day long headache. I was taking showers twice a day. I went to sleep and woke up with one. Like, I was taking Tylenol. I tried to take a Norco just to see if anything would take the pain away, and like nothing was working. And so I was just at my wit's end. And I'm not a person who gets headaches, so it's a whole new pain for me. It's a whole new level. I don't know how to deal with them. I don't know how to, I can't do it. So, and it was like and it lasted 2 days. So it was the longest 2 days of my life. So then, Owen started getting symptoms, but he ended up with just like a fever and just a little cough. So then we had to quarantine him for 10 days. So we were literally out of work for 3 weeks, you guys. That was the longest 3 weeks of my life. Okay, and so my mom and stuff had to go and do like all of our shopping, and she would just like talk to us through our screen door and stuff, and it just broke my heart because Owen sees her every day almost, because she watches them when we go to work. And it just broke my heart because he was just trying to open the screen door and just like let him in. And so it was just really hard. But I'm really kind of glad that we both ended up with it together, because then we don't have to like take separate time off to quarantine and stuff. So, but I wouldn't wish that sickness on anybody. Like, my worst enemy, it was awful. I'd never been so sick in my life. After we've been back to work since last Thursday, so a little over a week now. Actually a week, because today is Thursday. So we've been back to work for a full week now. And during those 3 weeks that we were off, I got diagnosed with depression. I was in a really, really dark place during quarantine, and I'm not proud of who it made me become. A really dark place when I was in quarantine. It got to the point where I struggled to even get out of bed, and I wanted to just cry all day, and I had no motivation to do anything. And it made the whole situation worse, knowing that it was causing me to not be the mother that Owen deserves and the wife that my husband needs. And it was just not a good thing. So And since I was still in quarantine when all of this happened, I ended up having to have a telehealth appointment with my doctor because I just knew I needed help, and I knew that I needed to get on something. So, and it made it better knowing that I needed that help rather than just thinking that it was gonna get better on its own, because I really knew that it wasn't going to. So I ended up having a telehealth appointment with him, and he put me on sertraline, or Zoloft, I think is the other, sorry, there's a hair on my lip, or Zoloft, I think is the brand name for it. And I have been on it since last Monday, so a little over a week. I have noticed that it is helping. However, it can take about 3 to 4 weeks for it to fully kick in. And so where I haven't been on it very long, I haven't really noticed that much of a difference. My husband says that he has, and my mom can tell a difference. But yeah, so I mean, and I feel like I'm getting back to feeling myself. I noticed that I am happier and I don't want to just sit around all day now. It got to the point where I was seriously I was in a really, really dark place, and I'm so used to being around people because of my job, and so not having to be around anybody for 3 weeks other than my husband really played a big toll on me, bigger than I thought it would. And it honestly got to the point where me and my husband didn't have anything to talk about, because neither one of us could go anywhere, and neither one of us could go do anything or see anybody. And so after we would have dinner or whatever, we would just sit there in silence and just be watching Netflix or on our phones, and we wouldn't even be able to have a full conversation with each other because we both knew what we did all day. And it was just a bad place for both of us. Like, he was able to go outside. He's got some projects that he's working on. He was working on a shed, and so he built the shed from the ground up, so he was able to go outside and do some projects and stuff around the house. But I just didn't want to even do anything, and it just sucked. It was just awful. So I've been on the medicine since Monday last week, so a little over a week. And so anyway, I feel like I'm just waiting for that to kick in. I do have another appointment with my doctor in a couple of weeks, just to kind of do a follow-up with him in person, just to kind of talk to him about how I feel like the medicine is helping. So anyway, I did my hair, you guys. I went and I got my hair done. And so I put a little purple in it underneath, and then like the top and stuff has like blonde and purple highlights. I got some bangs, and my bangs are purple as well, and I just needed to do something for me to hopefully help me get me out of the slump that I'm in. And I've been wanting to do my hair all year. I haven't really had anything done to it since Owen's been born, and so it just made me feel so good to be able to go out and do something for myself and make me feel good, and hopefully it'll just kind of help turn things around. So that's about it, you guys. That's just where we've been doing and what we've been dealing with. Go ahead and count on having regular weekly videos from here on out. This will be kind of just like the start of getting back into my routine of doing the weekly videos for you guys. I plan on doing some holiday Christmas shopping, so that'll be fun. And I do have a little bit of a clothing haul for Owen that I've kind of accumulated, and things have been bought for him over the last couple of months, so that'll be fun. And then I do have to go through and declutter his clothes and get rid of all of his summer clothes in his dresser, all of his shorts and stuff that he's not going to wear again. So I'll go ahead and take you guys along with me there, and we'll just go ahead and see you guys next time. Bye.